Okay, hello everybody. Thank you all for coming. Oh, that's bouncing into the red. Let me know how my volume is now. Should be fine. Richard, say hello.
Hello.
There you go. Richard's a wee bit loud too. Okay, there we are. We should be perfect now. Thanks everybody for coming. Sorry we're a wee bit late. I made enough lasagna for 4 people and had fucking half of it and fell asleep on the sofa. It was fucking gorgeous though. It was a really nice lasagna. But, you know, it's like a Christmas snooze.
Food coma.
Food coma. That's exactly it. Fucking food coma, man. So, thank you everybody for coming. As always, we're here with Richard. Richard, for the wonderful people who don't know you, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Really Richard.
Really Richard. Welcome to Really Richard.
Actually, yeah.
Check out Richard at Demolished Doctrine. Lots of stuff going on over there. Wednesday nights, I think, Richard, you have your show over there, isn't it? With
we had to switch it to Tuesday because they keep at the restaurant. They keep messing with Mac when they want him to be a manager and when they want him to be absent.
People don't care. You know, it's like, you have a life. Who cares? You have a life. Richard, we were running late, so I did ask you to look up where we were from last week.
From what I can tell, it's 4:10.
Sounds good to me. I'm just glad that you said it. So then, if it's wrong, I have someone to blame.
My problem,
yeah. So with that, we will just delve straight into it. Keep all you people waiting.
See, that's exercising the first spirit of God, wisdom. Ask the other person, make them say it. That way you can't be blamed. That's wisdom.
Shifting the blame. I don't know. We could go with shifting the blame. So 4:10. Right, so that would put us about there.
Because we were talking about the 4 beasts around God's throne, and then we went in some depth about the eyes within, and that's where we stopped right there.
Yes, I remember that. There was definitely something along them lines. Beasts everywhere. 24 people, 4 beasts. We were working out the Bachelor, something beginning with B. I'm fucking people. Please excuse. I haven't had a chance to fucking properly shower yet after work. For fuck's sake, I'm stinking. We'll be quiet here. Richard,
there's no smell on the computer. It's okay.
Good point. Good point. Although I have black elbows, but we'll not talk about that. I will leave it over to you then, Richard, with your beautiful voice. Please do enlighten us with Revelations 4:10.
It's always an honor. The 4 and 20 elders fall down before him that sat on the throne and worship him that liveth forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, I'm going to stop right there because the saying is kind of a different thing. So the 4 and 20 elders, if you ask Christians about this, it's very arbitrary what they've selected as the 24 elders because they really don't have a good explanation for this. Like some of them will say like the 12 main prophets. I don't know how you decide what main prophets are. I don't know how you get that. But they're just offsetting the leaders of the 12 tribes of Israel. So they say, some say 12 tribes leaders, some say the apostles. People say all kinds of stuff. None of it makes any sense, really. It all just very like just picking it out of your butt. That's pretty much what it is when they say that stuff.
Oh, well, I'm sure that they.
But here's a consistent.
I'm sure that they do have some basis for it. Like they're using
they really don't.
They're using numerology, 12 tribes. You know, it's been sticking there, making a correlation.
Well, other than the numbers fit, you know. 12 of this and 12 of that, and there's a couple things you could select 12 from the rest of the Bible, and they just pick arbitrary 12 things.
I'd need to talk to a Christian about that and ask them that, because that is a broad brush statement.
It is.
It is. We would need...
But what the text says in quoting Jesus, he tells the apostles that they will be pillars in his heaven. So you already know that there's 12 pillars in his heaven because there's so many apostles. So you can't get like 24 pillars out of 12. It doesn't even make sense.
And times 2.
So I object to their explanations. What's that?
Times 2. You can get 24 from 12 by just multiplying by 2.
Sure, you just double all the apostles and make body doubles of them and clone them out.
Clones, man. I was just about to say that. Clones.
Yeah, no problem.
You always need a backup.
Obviously cloned. Yeah.
Duplicity was, or no, Multiplicity. That was the movie where he cloned himself 4 times. Always handy to have a backup.
Well, he didn't clone himself.
No.
Hold on a second.
No, he didn't clone himself. He met a guy that was cloned.
College science professor. Right.
Per 4. You don't make a clone of a clone.
The last copy of him that likes stuffing pizza in his wallet keeps calling him Steve when his name's not Steve.
Yeah, I think that's what
that was the best part of the whole movie.
Per
you
number
like pizza,
4.
Steve?
Don't make a copy of a copy. Okay. We're getting off track now. As always. But, so arbitrary. You say the Christians have just pulled their reasoning behind it.
They just make stuff up.
Totally arbitrary. Right. But for you...
So here's something that's not arbitrary.
Let's hear it.
Okay. 24, the number itself, it seems that that's just like a time marker. That's just what it happens to be right now. And it's not significant of anything. However, when it describes them, that they're sitting on their own thrones, that they cast their crowns before the Father or the one who sits on the main throne, it's like saying when you put it in front of someone else at their feet, it's like, actually, this is yours. You know, you gave this to me. It's like recognition of position, something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, Christians would say that too, but they're just their position.
Oh, they do.
Yes, just the person, the people that they put in them spots are different.
Right.
So regardless of, you know, I do agree with you that they're putting the crown down. They're handing over their power, so to speak, or recognition of his power, their power over them, you know. But Christians will do that as well.
Yeah, they'll say that. And
but
that's
it's how
fine. I mean, that actually is like reasonable within the text to say something like that.
So to get to that number of 24, they're arbitrary. Let's hear how you get to the number of 24.
It's just that's been as many earths as there's been, as many heavens as there have been.
So it's totally arbitrary.
It's just that simple. So that when it says there will be one seated at God's side, given a crown and a throne, nobody should be confused on who that is.
Right.
You know? And then that's the description of the 24 elders right here. That's where they are. That's what they're enjoying. And they already have that. So I don't see any significance in the number 24 at all.
Right.
I see significance in the position they hold.
Right. Well, you see, this is where I'm coming from, okay? You've came to this number. Right. Well, no, you haven't come to this number. You've come to the conclusion that this number of elders is representative of the previous Jesuses on the last planets, including this one as well, because there's only 23. We're number 24, right? And you got to that because of your beliefs and everything you've got before it, and you're saying the number's arbitrary, and the Christians have got to that conclusion, what they believe, from what they believe, and their number's arbitrary.
Right. Okay, so what I'm saying is that the next Bible might read, the next Bible for the next earth might read 25 elders.
I totally understand that you're saying that. I'm getting that that's what your point is. I'm 100% getting that your point is, but you're just applying your belief system to it, where Christians do exactly the same. There's no other evidence to show that these 24 is the 24 elders from a previous all these past earths, except what you have built upon.
It's right there.
Except what you have built upon.
Right there in the description of them, where they are and what they're doing and who they owe it to.
Exactly.
That does tell what they are.
Exactly. That's you reading the Bible, and your interpretation has led you to that. So the Christians read the Bible, interpret it their way, and have ended up on their point. You're saying
they would say the same basic things. The only thing is that they can't fathom that God could have more than one earth and there could be more than one Jesus. That's what's stifling them. They say all the same stuff that's here that I say.
Except
I'm not trying to justify why there is exactly 24, and they have to try to, because it doesn't make sense.
Yes, but I'm just jumping on that. Your statement that this is the 23 previous earths Jesus's is as arbitrary as saying it as the Christian saying this is 12 prophets, because what you're doing is it's not explicitly explaining it here. It's based upon everything that you would believe on from before.
Well, it's consistent in the text that only Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father, is given a throne and a crown.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is obviously they're a circle around him.
Mm-hmm.
They're all at, quote unquote, the right hand. I mean, it can't be something besides Jesus, as far as I can tell.
Yes, but I'm just saying that your statement, that your belief that these are the 24 Jesuses, isn't based on this statement. It's based on your foundational beliefs. It's built upon.
Yeah, it's an overview thing for sure.
That's all I'm trying to say is, you know, that the Christians, when they say that there's 24, they just use the word apostles or previous prophets or whatever we were discussing earlier, you know. They use that, and it's based upon everything they say. And they'll be like, clearly it can't be. How could you have, you know, 24 other Jesuses there? There's only one earth. It makes no sense to say that.
Right. Right. You know, which is what the stumbling block is, and why I think they can't see that.
But again, they don't just make that statement based on this sentence or this verse. They make that statement based on everything that they have.
No, they don't really consider other parts of the Bible, but they think this is like a standalone situation.
I'm just saying that there's nothing in this sentence that says 24 elders except you saying, look, it says 24 elders, it must be Jesus's. Because how could you have anyone else to the right-hand side? Because it's not stating it, you're inferring it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Christians are exactly the same.
I don't think it's exactly the same, because like the actual description here doesn't fit any apostle at any situation at any time, nor Abraham. Abraham isn't told he does this. There's no story about Abraham doing this. There's no story about any of the apostles, any of the tribal leaders. None of it.
Just because it's not there doesn't mean
this is a story about Jesus, that this is what he gets as a reward. I mean, it's like directly stated, Jesus gets this.
As we've stated and read before, your interpretation of it, that this is only meant for Jesus. This isn't meant for other people, where other people read it. Yeah, other people read this and go, this isn't meant for Jesus, this is meant for everybody.
That's what they think, yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying, yeah. So it's just how they get to that point is as arbitrary as yours. That's all, from my point of view. I know you're saying...
Why you keep saying that? It's literally not arbitrary.
Okay. I think we're going to have another impasse.
It's definitional. No. I can't let this go, because it's definitional what Jesus gets as rewards. We just read it in the 7 letters.
Okay. I think we're just going to agree to disagree. I'm just saying that how you got to this is based on your previous beliefs.
How.
Because, right, it doesn't state, you can't say to me that in this sentence, right, it clearly says 24 elders. Well, it clearly says 24 elders, yes. And you're saying that it's the 24 previous Jesuses. It's clearly obvious. It's right there. It's fucking written. What else could there be? And the Christian will look at it and go, it's apostles. What else can it be? It's clearly written there.
But there's no story about the apostles getting those things as rewards?
There's no stories about fucking aliens either in the book. That's your inference. Sorry.
But there is a direct story about Jesus getting exactly those rewards.
Mac, thank you very much for the super chat. Mac, question for Richard. How are you doing, say, since 2012 or so?
People who loved me despite the fact that I was an asshole back then. And I'm not nearly as miserable, judgmental, selfish, unempathetic as I used to be.
There you go, Mac. I hope that fills in. I hope that answers your question. But the point, I think you're missing the point. Well, no, you're not missing the point, because am I explaining it correctly? I'm just saying there is no direct thing in this sentence that says Richard is correct. It can be looked upon by 2 different points of view. And what you're coming upon and your interpretation is based all on everything in the past, as what a Christian would be. So from my point of view, who doesn't believe this, either your point of view or their point of view, to me, it just seems as arbitrary. I don't see any difference between you taking your foundational beliefs and applying it to the 24 and going, it has to be these because of my beliefs from before, and a Christian goes, it must be the prophets.
But that's not why. It's not because of my beliefs from before. That's just not so.
Well, it has to be because it ties in with it. You're telling me that it's 23 Jesuses from previous earths. You can't say
Scroll up to the end of the letters. We'll read them again, where it's promising a singular, definite article, one male, certain things.
Well, and do you think a Christian? And do you think a Christian, whenever you disagreed with them, would say to you, "Scroll back and look at this verse, and this verse proves my point"? They're going to do the exact same thing.
No, there isn't one else to refer to where someone is promised these things. Nowhere. It's only promised. There is no competition for this.
Okay. He can't. No Christian can refer to some other verse and say, "Look, this other guy was promised that." That's not going to happen. No, that's like you did. That may not happen. That direct thing may not happen, but that particular Christian may have a verse that you will disagree with, obviously, that they base their inference on. They're going to
there's verses they're going to refer to, like the count of the apostles, the count of the tribes.
So you already haven't.
That stuff.
So you already have encountered the Christians referring other things to prove their point.
I haven't had that conversation with this particular one, but
you
I've
already
seen people do that.
But you have already thought. You just quoted me two different things that Christians could use to justify their belief in this. You just.
I heard somebody say that sometime. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That it's for me, looking at it. If I say I disagree with you, Richard, and you quote me another Bible verse, and I say I disagree with you, Christian, and they quote me another Bible verse, to me that's the same.
Well, let's be honest about this. For now, this is all theoretical, and for now, we may as well be talking about a Superman comic. For now,
yes.
But I'd like to think that the author of Superman was aware enough of what he'd already written to keep track of the storyline and not be inconsistent.
I'm not saying that you're inconsistent, and we already know that you believe.
No, I'm saying the Christians are inconsistent in their claims.
Yes, I already know that you believe the Christians are inconsistent in their claims, but they don't. And I just jump in. Messenger Reveals is in the chat. I haven't seen him around.
I haven't seen John forever. Peace and respect, John.
Fucking ages. Hello, John. Welcome. And just from my point of view, being an outsider, I know you're going to use different words, and I know talking to you over the years that you are more consistent and more logical and more laid out and have a plan, so to speak, for your belief system than a Christian does. None of that's in any dispute. What I'm saying is, if I said to a Christian, that can't be the prophets, they'll quote a Bible verse. And if I said to you, that can't be 23 Jesuses, you're going to quote me a Bible verse.
Sure.
You know, it's
the
exact
difference, right?
What's the fucking difference to me? Thank you.
To you, it probably sounds just the same. And it should sound just the same.
There we go. That's the point I'm trying to hammer in. To me, it just sounds the fucking same.
I understand that. I used to be an atheist.
There's no there's no difference. In this particular statement, your statement has no more strength than a Christian. Usually it would.
You're right, it doesn't appear to, unless you actually look at logic.
And base everything on what you have before. Again, it's not directly in this sentence.
Right.
I think the point is landed then. I can't go in. I'm not even going to try and go any further. Because
that's as close as we're going to get to saying the same thing. That's as close. That was as good as it's going to be.
Okay. So that's one verse in fucking half an hour. Go.
It did not take a half hour. You're kidding me, right?
No, about 20 minutes. Verse 11. Go on ahead.
That's a lot better. Okay. And what they say to the one who sits on the throne in the center is, "Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created." Of course, I'm going to say that's local, not universal creation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I can show a pretty good case for that from Genesis.
Exactly. You're referencing back to another Bible quote. And they'll say created all things, and they don't need to make any Bible verse because it says
but they
all
won't
things.
look up the word bara. And I did.
What does that mean?
They won't look it up, seriously.
Well, what word is that in the sentence?
Created. Bara. It means to reform and repurpose something. In other words, existent materials made into something else.
I'm going to have to get Joshua.
Like I created a kitchen table. But I didn't create it out of nothing. I created it out of a tree in the backyard.
Josh, if you're out there, if you're watching this, we can do a show with you sometime where we've made up all these words that we're not made them up, wrote down all these words that Richard says mean this, and we can do like a spell check with Josh, you know. It could be interesting sometime. No, you're wrong. Oh, you were writing this? You were
Josh Bowen?
Yeah.
I've already had Josh Bowen and several traditional Jews agree with exactly what I'm saying right now.
Well, then it'll look well for you.
Yeah. Doesn't make a difference, trust me. People still go, "Oh, you're full of crap. You're crazy."
Oh, well, you're crazy. I wouldn't say you're full of crap.
Today I got told I'm a manipulative liar and that I don't believe what I'm saying. I got told that today. That was unpleasant.
A manipulative liar.
Yeah, They think that I don't even believe it.
Well, I can definitely vouch that yeah. Cat's just turned up in the chat.
I know I believe it, but I can see why other people would say Richard doesn't believe this. You know, I can see why they could say that.
Cat's turned up in the chat. My favorite Tool show.
Cienfuegos.
Right. So basically just verse 11 is confirming what we've said. You know, these other 24 people, sorry, regardless of who they are, whether they're prophets or whether they're being old aliens, Jesuses, they're all saying this main guy in the middle is fantastic. Although we've already established it's not a main guy in the middle, it's a group and a set of ideas.
Yes.
Because the throne's empty.
And I think that's natural too. I mean, I think other than people kind of fooling themselves or bending what they actually feel, human beings don't like to worship a single being. They don't like that.
Considering that most of the world is Christian or Muslim and it's a singular monotheist God, there would be evidence to fight against you saying that.
No, that's not the majority, actually. If you're doing just do a head count per religion.
Okay, well, you know what? It's a fucking big chunk of the bloody earth is Christian.
It's a big number, yeah.
And if they're not Christian and Muslim and Islam and all of them fucking monotheistic, you know, so there would be an argument to be made against that.
Yeah, the Abrahamic religions would be some argument against that.
And they're a big chunk of the planet.
But I think it's not in their nature to worship a singular God either, actually. I don't think it's in human nature.
A big chunk of the human race.
I think they have to convince themselves it's okay. And I think that convincing themselves and why they're invested in it emotionally is some of the reason they defend it so tooth and nail, so viscerally. Because they're emotionally involved in like kidding themselves about what they think could be true.
That's a broad statement that you're talking about for a lot of people in the world.
I know.
Right? So I'm going to take that with as much credibility as that statement is huge.
Take it with a whole pound of salt. It's fine.
So, there's a book. There's a book. I'm seeing here there's a book, right? Verse 1 of chapter 5. I got that right this time. I'm usually wrong. And I saw in the right hand of him, in the right hand of him, that sat on the throne, a book written and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. So,
amen to that.
Is this a reference to the Bible? Is this him just saying that I'm...
Yeah, it's the Bible. It's the Bible sealed with the 7 spirits of God. And that's why the Lamb can open the seals and no one else. Because only the Lamb really has the 7 spirits.
Right? Okay. I can see where that comes from in your basis. I can see that.
Yeah. In fact, you probably could have said that for me.
Oh, was going somewhere with it. Something not far off. Right. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, "Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof?" And no man in heaven, nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. So nobody can open
and this is very similar to the expression in the Garden of Eden talking about the apple. You can't eat of it. You can't touch it. It's not yours. You have no clue. Obviously, people can look at a book.
Yes.
It doesn't mean neither even to look at it. It doesn't mean that literally. Even if you look at it, you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't understand it.
That's why even over here, like whenever I went to fucking school, we had English class and we had English literature class. You know, English class teaches you your grammar and all that stuff, and the English lit is understanding what was written down. You know, you read a book, you take it the interpretation, and everybody agrees upon it. That may not be what the author was fucking saying, unless you can directly ask the fucking author, but we can't in this instant, so we have to infer.
In which instance?
We can't. You don't know who wrote the Bible, the whole thing. They're all different authors. It's a collection of books, supposedly. We don't know. We can't ask the author.
Those are a lot of assertions that you actually can't show.
Okay, but the Bible has been around long enough that if the author was one person and the author was a human, that human be dead. All I'm saying is you can't directly ask the author.
That would be true, sure.
Yeah. The person, you can't ask them directly. That is the point I'm making.
Yeah, except for human beings aren't the author. That's the only problem with that whole premise.
No, there is. Can you right now find the author of the Bible and ask them, did they mean this?
Sure. He even tells you how. The author even tells you how to contact him.
Would you do me a favor? Would you give him a call?
Sure, already did.
Did he come down? Can we arrange an interview?
More than 1,000 calls.
Can we arrange an interview?
Sure. You can interview him yourself. You can't record it with an exterior. You could record it with a computer hooked up to your brain on one of those skull caps with the.
Lost you.
You could register the phone call. You could record it. Of course, people are going to say, "Well, that's his unconscious or subconscious mind coming through." That's what they're going to say.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Of course, we have trouble locating the unconscious, subconscious mind. That's kind of an issue. Seems like it's not in us.
All based again on you can't physically get me a fucking phone call with the guy of the author of the Bible so we can ask them, is this what you meant? Okay?
Yeah, you can talk to the Father. He even demands that's the only way you're going to understand it.
Okay. I'm not talking literal. You're being semantical in words, and you know exactly what I'm fucking meaning. You know exactly what I'm
saying. You mean literally pick up a cell phone and call the guy? Of course not.
Yeah. Where, if somebody wrote a book tomorrow, you could ask them, is this what you meant?
That'd be great, right?
That would be really good. Yeah.
That'd make it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that all means you would have no free choice and you'd have no purpose in being on the earth and not just in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So it would kind of be self-defeating if God just made it that easy and clear.
Okay.
Why bother putting this here if he's just going to reveal the full truth from the start?
Right.
It wouldn't even make sense to do that.
Verse 4. And I wept much because no man was found. Now, just for reference point for John, this story, from the best way we have came to reference this, to have an idea in my head as Richard's putting this across, these people saying the stories are what we are using Jesus's older brother, the previous Jesus, someone who has been through this before, is on a stage now interacting with actors and so telling the story to the person who is the Jesus of our planet. Is that correct, Richard?
Right, and John's standing in that place of the new Jesus for all of it.
So when this is being told, this is past tense yet prophetic.
Yeah.
Right. So
it would have been the past of their earth and the future of ours.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So when it says I wept much, it is stating that Jesus wept, but not our Jesus, some guy.
That part's kind of tough. How good is John at representing the position that he doesn't hold? Maybe John was just really upset to hear that all of religion in the past was fake, that all of it was just superstition, that no one had actually understood these things ever before?
We're tangenting off. I was just trying to give John a reference point of where we're at under your belief system.
Oh, for Messenger? Did
Yes.
he ask a question or something?
No. It's just we haven't seen him and we're talking. So it's just to give a bit of context for the whole
Oh,
thing. Just a wee
yeah.
bit of overall. But then you did your whole I'm going to complicate fucking everything thing. And now the point's lost. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's probably perfect for the banter between you and I. That's probably perfect.
Right. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open the book, to read the book, neither to look upon. We did read that, didn't we? No. And the elders said...
No, it's repetitive.
Yeah. And one of the... Right. No. Verse 5. And one of the elders saith unto me, weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof.
Right. So during end times, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, who is also the Root of David, opens the book.
Mm-hmm.
Not 2,000 years ago.
Right. Well,
That's
obviously apocalypse hasn't happened because we're still here.
That's right. It hasn't happened.
Yeah, well,
The internet still works. I can tell it hasn't
yeah,
happened.
but people don't say that Revelations has happened. People say that Revelations is apocalypse. People say Revelations is the end.
Right.
times.
They say it's a future event, and then they read this, and then they ignore what the hell it says.
But they do that with a lot of the Bible.
Yeah, I know. That's my entire objection. They do that with a lot of the Bible.
Right, so you're saying that even though this is prophetic, literally the statement I fucking made about 5 minutes ago, before even getting to this line, the fact that it's prophetic, yet it's happened in the past. Has happened, has yet to happen, history repeating itself, yeah?
Right.
So that's your statement. The fact that it says open and not will open. Did you look that up, that particular Greek?
Sure.
And is it specifically, definitely, 100% to open and not has or will open?
No, this is a good, clean interpretation. Actually, the Greek's pretty easy for the scholars to interpret, because it's very much like the same way we think about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty damned clear. It's hard to misinterpret this. And the idea that this did happen at the end of our planet, but in the past, is very clear in the text.
Well, this particular thing, you know, if people make the statement that it's prophetic and it is to happen, that in the English, it states past tense.
Right.
That's just what I'm asking.
It's to happen here, but it's past tense experience.
Did you look it up to make sure that it states in the Greek that it is definitely past tense?
We can look it up again if you like. I mean, it's clear.
I believe you. No. I believe you if you say it is. I believe you if you say it is. Right. Night, Marie. Thanks for coming by. Right.
Yeah,
So,
if you blindside any regular Christian and say who is the Lamb and who is the seed of David, you just use the
they're all going to scream Jesus. Yeah, like that, you know.
Of course they are.
And so are you.
Right, I agree.
But you're just adding 23rd Jesus.
And the block for them, what happens in their head is they can't figure out what the book is.
Right.
They don't know this is the Bible.
What do you mean they don't know that it's the Bible? How could
Like
you
if
not...
you ask them what these books are, they got all kinds of weird stories that conflict with each other.
That's very confusing because even whenever you said it, I would think Jesus. Or
Yeah.
no, I would think the Bible, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know
me too.
what else could it be?
It's the book that's important, according to the book that it's written in, which is extremely like self-confirming and circular.
Yeah.
But it's probably not talking about something else, some other book, right? That's stupid.
To me, I don't know. It just screams it has to be the Bible. I don't know. That seems very weird.
I know, but you ask them about this verse right here and what book it's talking about. You're going to get every answer except the Bible.
Right. Again, we're going to have a Christian on for some parts of this. I feel like you making
It's laughable.
Right. Okay, so clearly it's in the past. We're going to establish that it's in the past. We're going to take your word for it that the Greek is correct. And it's in the past. All right.
It's in the past, but in a futuristic book.
In the futuristic book. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, that's what it is, plainly.
Verse 6. And I beheld.
That sounds crazy.
And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the four beasts, and in the midst of the elders stood a lamb, as it had been slain. Yeah. Having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent forth for all the earth, into all the earth. Okay. Point of view.
It says it's the 7 spirits of God right there, but Christians will argue about this too, what the horns and eyes mean.
Everything I'm seeing.
It says it.
Right. Is there any particular meaning to the horns and the eyes? I'm just seeing a repetitiveness of 7.
Okay, well, what's a horn on an animal? What does it use it for?
Many different things.
Go ahead and name them.
Arguing, fighting with other males. Some of them have just purely for the bigger they are, the more powerful they are. It's generally a male dominance thing.
That was all correct. What are eyes used for?
For seeing.
Right. So he sees and he attacks and defends with the 7 spirits of God.
Well, you don't, right. I didn't say attacks, right? Only. Some of them can just...
I threw attacks in there.
Yeah,
sorry.
All right. Just to clarify.
What makes him sexy is the 7 spirits of God. I'll put it that way.
Damn sexy Jesus. Right.
Damn sexy Jesus.
Okay.
With the 7 spirits.
Right. So sexy Jesus with the 7 eyes and the 7 spirits. Right.
Right. They use they use that concept of eyes and horns on an animal because that's what the animals actually use this stuff for.
Oh, I can get the visualization. I get the visualization.
Just real directly.
Okay.
What's that?
I get the visualization. I do.
Right.
Right. And he came and he took the book right out of the hand and sat upon the throne.
Mm-hmm.
So hold on.
Of him who sat on the throne.
Yeah. So the new Jesus, who's like,
right,
is taking the book. That's what you're stating.
Right. Right. And that's consistent in the text. Like the father, like spoon feeds him like a baby.
Right. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 20 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints.
Prayers of the saints. Right on.
So it's just that they're moving the power. Well, not maybe the power, but they're definitely, their admiration in this moment is going from the throne, which is the 7 ideas of who God is, to the Lamb, who would, in your opinion, be the Jesus of our earth.
Yes.
Right.
I think what's going on here is the awakening of the sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
And when the sleeper awakens and realizes who he is, they all turn to him and go, "Yup, that's right, bro. You the dude."
We need to get that as just a meme. Richard going, "You the dude."
You the dude. Just like that.
Right. Okay. Right.
Which, I mean, imagine yourself in that position. You would need a lot of confirmation because, I mean, like, the first thing a reasonable person would think is, "Oh my God, I've lost my mind."
No, not necessarily. If I'm Jesus and I can perform miracles, I'm going down the stairs, I'm turning the tap on and wine's coming out, you know.
I don't know what you're talking about aside from classic Christianity that's not in the Bible.
Classic Christianity of turning water into wine and the idea that Jesus can perform miracles. If I'm Jesus, I will not need anyone else to confirm it for me. I'm fucking Jesus.
In the Hebrew, what wine means is that which makes people either loving or extremely crazy.
Okay, we're not going to get pedantic on what that means, but you get my point.
But that's what wine means.
Okay, fine. I'll pick a fucking different miracle then. All right, I'll make a blind man see again. I'll take my glasses off. The point I'm making is I am the Son of God and can do supernatural things. I don't need no one to confirm it for me.
I don't think there's anything supernatural in anything he ever did or ever will do.
I know you don't.
Okay.
Okay. So where are we at now? 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us to God. Fuck off, alright? Has redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. Right, so you're going to scream about this, him taking over at the end times now, yes?
Nope, the only thing I'm going to say is the word nation is actually goy. It's actually goyim, that word nation right there. That's not a good translation.
Right, give us your translation.
It means goyim. As in the
English,
Jewish word for
motherfucker.
cattle people.
What?
It means cattle people.
So they just stuck nation in there even though it means cattle people. As in people who look after cows.
No, not people who look after cows. People that you should think of as like cows.
Well, that really would, I would, I don't know whether nation, to me, nation is the entire country, is everybody in the country.
Right.
And the person who translated that is now saying that everyone in the country is as worthy as cows.
That's right. Because think of it this way. The Jews didn't own that nation, did they?
Right.
They were actually a small part of a larger area.
Right.
They didn't own it.
Right.
Every time it says nation, it means outsiders who aren't Jews. I.e. goyim.
Okay.
And it's an insult. But what it's saying here is that even those of the nation are doing this.
So it's not...
And he saved them out of... In other words, some of those in heaven were goyim.
That's right. You see, if I'm reading this and I'm seeing tongue, people, nation, I'm seeing a progression of them trying to make a point of saying small things, normal people, everybody in the country. It's a gradual progression and getting bigger.
Yeah, right. In fact, every bit of this progression is describing something outside of Judaism.
My reading of this is fuck all to do with Judaism and their interpretation. If I'm seeing people, nation, my next thing after nation would probably then be country, and then continent, and then planet. Do you see the progression I'm getting here?
Yeah.
Right.
Every kindred meaning not necessarily your kin, and tongue meaning not necessarily your speech patterns, and people meaning not necessarily your people, and nation, which means not necessarily your nation. So this is saying, like, all inclusive, those in heaven were redeemed, those in the throne room were redeemed, and some of them from outside of Jews.
Right. Well, you're saying outside of Jews, that's what nation means. And I disagree with that because what I'm seeing is a general progression in the scale of the people we're talking about.
Well, yes, but you're just not going far enough with the idea.
Okay.
I mean, you're completely right. It's just you're not going, okay, well, the singular tongue and the singular people and the singular nation and
I really don't think
that
it matters.
Is the Jews.
I think we can both be right and continue on. I don't think that our different interpretations matter. But I can see where you're coming from. I'll bounce back to you then. Go on, verse 10.
Okay, well then I'll just quit. That's good. If you can at least, you don't have to agree, just as long as you get it.
Oh no, I get what you're saying and you get what I'm saying, and it basically means the same thing.
Totally.
I just really don't like the fact that you're sticking, specifically not Jews on it. That interpretation, not Jews to me still means the world and still means everyone else, but the not Jews, it's a different. It means the same thing.
If you like, I could show you several times in the Bible where nation is actually goyim.
No, at the end of the day, man, it means the same thing for the context of the story. We can move forward. It's just I don't like that.
Okay.
Your interpretation of it. I could be wrong. I just don't like. Verse 10. All yours, Richard.
And through this salvation, and hast made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on is not very good, actually. On as in on top of, that kind of on the earth.
Right.
I mean, on is a good literal solid translation, and it's clear in the Greek it's on. But it's not on as in part of, it's on as in on top of.
That's your interpretation.
Well, it fits the context here. They're reigning.
Yeah.
They're not reigning from within. They're reigning over top. You always reign from over top. You don't reign from within.
A king cannot walk amongst its people.
That's right.
Disagree with that.
Oh, really? When do you disagree with that? Give me one example.
Oh, so it hasn't. So it has to have happened for it to be.
No. Just propose a possible scenario.
There's a fucking play that I can't remember the fucking name of, where the king walked amongst the people, and was hidden. And then there's another one where they swapped, where the prince found someone who looked similar to him in the fucking people.
No, the king walked through the people. The king didn't walk amongst the people.
There is stories of this.
He's not a commoner.
There is stories, like, yes, that has happened in stories. I cannot give you the exact name of them right now. As I say, there's another one where they swapped places because someone in the commoner looked like him, so they swapped. You're laughing at me.
Story. I don't really buy it, but okay, sure.
These stories do exist, okay? I'm not saying that it literally...
it's just not reasonable.
Here, man, just because something hasn't happened, you could look... Everybody could read the Communist Manifesto.
It'd be okay with me if it was just reasonable. But the truth of the matter is, part of being king is that you're in charge and you know it.
Yeah.
So he might say things like, the king might say things like, I'm a servant to the people, and literally he might be, if he's just not enslaved them, right? But that doesn't mean he considers himself an equal with the people.
No.
And if you could say something like walk amongst in like a biblical, lordship kind of way.
I'm talking
about like putting everybody on equal ground. I don't think it's like that.
I'm not. No, you see, that's different. You see, you're taking a lot of inference from that. I'm not saying that the king has to think that he's as good as a commoner. I'm just saying that a good leader surrounds himself with his people. A good leader will not ask anybody to do anything he's not willing to do himself. A good leader knows his people. A good leader does not separate himself completely from the people. A good leader and someone who is there to lead the people is stuck in the midst of it, is stuck in there with the people. That's a good leader. That's someone who's there. Yeah. Someone who's all up themselves and thinks they're a fucking king and doesn't mix with the people. Yeah. You see the differences I'm trying to make here,
No, I got you now. I understand where you're coming from. Now I can completely agree with you that that's true.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's also the second spirit of God.
Oh, fuck off. Look, just throwing it out there. It's like, I already had this in my back door. It doesn't matter, I agree with you. I'm still right.
It's counsel. So, yeah, I have to agree with you.
Right. Verse 11. Well, at least try to get to the end of the fucking chapter.
Oh, sorry. Third spirit, not the second. And I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beasts, and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of thousands. And where those thousands of thousands go in the math equation is hard to tell.
I don't think that
it might be addition.
Any of these big numbers, though, any of these big numbers I read in the Bible, I don't read them literal. I read them as we're making a point. It's fuckloads.
Yeah. No, you're wise to.
I
mean, the Jews have standards like what the number 1 means, what the number 1,000 or 100 means, and those mean significant things. But they're all like really positive things, except 6.
Yeah,
6 is the only not positive idea in the whole set.
I'm not going to go into numerology and things like that, but
that's bad. And all the rest of the numbers have good connotation.
Generally, when you read a lot of these older statements, regardless if it's from the Bible or not, you could be reading one about Alexander the Great taking over the whole fucking, this area, and he's killed 1 million people. Sure. You read another one, he killed 100,000. It's big numbers in prehistory and stuff, or in olden history. I just read them. That means a big number.
I agree with you. It's trying to say like a number so big you can't even like understand what the number is.
Yeah.
It's saying something like that, right?
Yeah. If someone said to me there is, X amount of things happening in that housing estate right now, whatever the fuck. I would expect that to be true, because right now we're taking confirmation and they're locking it down. They've got satellites and they can do all that bullshit. But this, no. Big number. Lots of people. That's all I see. So I'm assuming you're...
The promise of 1,000 years or an eon being exactly 1,000. I don't think that's to be taken literally either. I think it means an amount of time so long you can't really understand it, and you're not going to experience it where you are right now.
So you're going to say to me that this angel, or these angels, are the Goim. These are the other people, the ones that are saved from Earth, from the previous Earths.
I need you to be closer to the mic for that.
What you're saying is, right, reading this from your beliefs, I'm saying that around the throne and the beasts and the elders, the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000, blah, blah, blah. These are all the people that was saved from the previous Earths.
Right.
Yes.
These are all ascended angels from previous Earths. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if I figure out the math. Our science says that the total population of the Earth to this point has been about 100 billion people. I wonder if I took 100 billion times 23 or 24, because that
100 billion.
Us yet. 23.
There's not 100.
If I'd end up with a number that's like really close to this, I wonder if I'd end up with that.
I don't think there's 100 million people on the Earth, Richard. 100 billion.
No, total ever. 100 billion total ever
is what the Earth could handle.
No. Through the history of mankind in this form on this planet, including those who have all died. Yes.
I get what you're saying. Everybody who has ever lived previously before.
Yeah, that's another way to say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I get it that way.
or are alive today, so it includes the 8 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
But a lot of that's quite recent, you know. Well, not quite recent, and we can take time of it, but our population hasn't boomed. Our population recently has, on the scale of things, has boomed. Like whenever I grew up, I always, as a kid, the population was 6.5 billion. That's what the population was when I was growing up.
Yeah.
It's now 8 billion, you know. And I think what they say is it'll probably level off at about 11 billion. The planet, just with the food, even though we're not well distributed, but 11 billion population growth goes up and then down and up and down. That works worldwide as well. So I think the population growth chart shows about 11 million and then aiming down again. But yeah,
something like that. Yeah, I've read those same estimates. It's probably about right.
Right, and saying with a loud voice, worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing. So it's like, you're the dude.
All the good stuff.
You're the dude, you know.
Pretty women, and you're the dude.
You're the dude. And every creature which is in heaven and on the earth and under the earth, and such are in the sea, and all that are in them, heard I say, blessing and honour and glory and power be upon him that sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb forever and ever. So
doesn't that one part right there strike you as a bit weird?
Which one?
No, I want you to find it. Isn't there a part right there that just strikes you as a bit weird?
With the fact that there's somebody sitting on the throne. But we already
just read it again to yourself and see if something doesn't stick out to you.
And every creature which is in heaven and on the earth. Okay, is in heaven. You're going to jump at me about that?
No, go ahead.
Is that...
There's like a severe grammatic weird thing here.
Man, you're asking me to fucking figure out what's wrong with the grammar. You're fucking serious.
You're right. What am I thinking? Look, it really doesn't fit into the Greek. Even in the and you could scroll up so everybody can see it, not just you.
Oh, sorry.
Because right now it's behind our pictures. For me, it's behind the pictures.
Yeah,
but anyway, heard I saying. That should be heard him saying or heard me saying, but it definitely shouldn't be heard I saying.
Right.
Right. Why the I?
You tell me, Richard.
Because this is actually the definite article, heard the I saying.
So this is the dude. You're telling me this is Adam saying this?
And you'll notice they're hearing the I say something else. They're not saying it.
Well, if you replace the word I with Adam, the sentence would be grammatically better. Adam,
Yep,
as in the Adam, as in the sense that, you know, who you believe Adam to be.
If you put a proper name right there, it works a lot better.
Right. Also, this is a translation of a translation. No, this is a translation of some old text from fucking 2,000 years ago. So that has to be.
Don't use straw man.
I'm not using straw man.
Don't use straw man.
I'm not. I'm saying take that into account.
Well, the only thing I've really had to clarify from the Greek here is the word on meaning on top of instead of on meaning part of. And that was actually pretty darn clear. And this is no worse.
And in the Greek,
it comes out clearly in the text that it should read in the English, heard the, implied the, I, capital I, saying. That's pretty clear from the best text that we have anywhere.
It should. So you're telling me right now that this translation that's really out there is wrong, which I can, like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
they're all wrong. The translations are wrong.
I'm not saying
but if you go back to the actual words that it's referring to, it's pretty clearly here.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. All right, because, you know, I'm not going to say that we can't find. I think it was recently, again mentioning Josh was one of the things. It was him that brought it to my attention. The newer translations of, you know, laying with a man or whatever it was. So the Bible doesn't actually say that you're gay. It says don't sleep with male prostitutes. That's a, you know, we got a translation wrong. So I can understand that happens. What it says in the Bible can be a wrong translation. I'm not going to deny that. But what I'm saying is, does it specifically say in the Greek? If you were to translate the Greek, you would say without bias. Now, please don't put your bias in there. I want you to just read the translation and take what most scholars say. You would read it as the I with a capital.
Yeah. Definite article I.
Right. I think it's E sword.
Specific one being I. Yeah.
E sword, isn't it? We could check that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Right. Go. You run and check that. All right. We'll see. Okay. Because I'd be interested, because I don't really give a shit about the other one, but this one, making a determination and saying that it is the one true creator that started fucking everything instead of a grammarly mistake.
5:13.
That's a big statement.
I should do you all a favor. Instead of like sticking my beard in the camera, I should do this.
We all love your lovely face, Richard.
Yeah.
You know what I think, Richard? Yeah, I haven't had the fucking screen on at all for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
For the whole fucking thing.
What?
For the whole show, I have not had the Bible on the screen.
No.
Yeah, just been me and you talking, man. Just me and you talking.
Oh, they didn't. Well, they could always look up the. I mean, they have the words in front of them. It's available everywhere.
Ah, that's annoying.
Sorry, guys.
If anybody's watching, you can see that I minimized my OBS quite early at the start, and it was just the background, and I wasn't checking it. That's my fault. That's my own fault for fucking minimizing it.
Okay, so I found it. It's the Greek aku. Okay. It is a base or root or primary word.
Right.
And it's a translation problem. Let me go back one. Hold on a second.
Ah, you see, we're finding things.
Well, okay, the problem is to make it into the English from the Greek. You end up having to like switch certain words around
in order so in the sentence.
Actually, it's not aku, it's autos, autos, autos.
So it is a translation of a translation,
which means himself, herself, themselves, itself, he, she, or it the same are all the usages. It's from the particle all. Perhaps akin to the base G109, the idea of baffling, wind, or backward, the reflexive pronoun or self, used alone or in the comparative. It can be in the third person. can be in a third person.
But you're not
but
going
it's normally
you're not going to stick that in there because
him,
this,
her, it, one, the other, mine, own, said, self, same.
but it doesn't say.
So I'm kind of wrong. It could be in the third person referring to a singular individual.
I know. Don't do that, Richard.
Okay?
Don't do the third person because we're already John playing Jesus, watching an older version of Jesus play out what happened, and then
I know, it's
you
confusing.
fucking stick that another guy's just.
Ain't you glad you ain't Jesus? Ain't you glad you ain't Jesus?
Right.
Okay. It is a definite article. It's referring to a singular, like at all times.
Right. We'll need to define. We'll have
they're
to.
Themselves.
Yeah.
He, she, it. But it's not we, they. It's never we, they. Okay?
It's never the with a capital I, though.
It's not we or they.
Okay.
It's not a group. It's always a singular, even if it's referred to by someone else.
Well, fucking I is the biggest singular there. You know, you can't get more fucking singular than I. But that's
right.
You know, it's not the I. It's not the one.
Yeah, it is the I.
It just says I in the English, and it doesn't say that in the translation. The translation just...
No, I just went one word back, and it's autos, meaning a singular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just know it's a singular.
Definite article.
Yeah, we just know it's one thing. We don't know that it's the one. It's not got any... Like, if I... That's the whole point of the word the in the English language. If I say there's one, and I say there's the one. If I say, are you MathPig or are you the MathPig? The fact that we put the in front of it, that's what gives it its strength and its power. Your translation just means it's singular. It doesn't have, in our English version, the in front of it. You get what I mean?
I'm going to the next word so I can be sure.
I'm fucking right.
Maybe.
Fucking gonna fight through this. Come on, Richard. We'll fisticuffs over Revelations, like.
Okay, so it's...
We're in agreement that grammatically, for the English, sticking a name in there or the would be grammarly better. But can we also...
In the Greek, it's autos akou lego. Okay? That's the actual phrase right there. Oh,
why do people say je ne sais quoi, even in the English language? Because the original language...
using an expression from another language?
Because the original language says it better than if you translated it. This is the point I'm trying to make. That particular thing doesn't say the... It doesn't make the... Oh, this guy's fucking, you're the dude statement. There's no word.
It's obviously a you're the dude statement when everybody's facing in pointing at him.
But yeah, right. But you're talking about it being Adam, not being Jesus. Where people will read this as Jesus, you're saying it's not Jesus, it's Adam. Now that statement comes from your belief. No even evidence in the Greek. In the Greek, it just makes a statement of one. It doesn't say it's the dude one. We're taking the it's the dude one from the context of the sentence.
I backed up a few words.
Oh God, he's still going.
And actually, in the Greek, it's ho, the definite article, right?
Right.
As in the, this, that, one, he, she, or it. Mm-hmm. And then the next word after ho is, I got to scroll down a bunch. Hold on.
You should come back on screen, Richard. I don't know why you went away.
Hold on a second. Because I've got my face in this computer so I can read it because I'm blind.
Oh, right. It's here on the camera.
So it's ho, N, E-N, which is the same as our word I-N, or in the. So it's the in autos akou. So yes, it is a definite article, singular, individual speaking, no doubt.
Yeah, it's singular. But the all I'm saying is, translation, sometimes things work better in one translation than they do in the other. If you translate it, you have to then put certain words in to make it make grammarly sense. That is the literal translation of it. is singular, is I. It may not just make
Bear in
sense.
mind, when they translated this is the best they could do is with everything we just looked at and things we haven't even looked at today.
Yeah, I'm just saying
heard I saying. That's the best they could do.
Yeah. That's the best that they could do. It's just a translational scribble. It's not a scribble or it's just a translation problem. Like I say, je ne sais quoi. That's why people say it like that. It has more meaning in the original words than it does when you translate it.
By the way, what does that mean? I don't speak French.
Je ne sais quoi. It just, you have that, But if you translate it into its literal words, Titan's in the chat. Titan will fucking go look it up for me. What is the exact translation? But when you say something's got the certain je ne sais quoi, it's got that, thing to it. As I say, it's better in the original language than it is.
Apparently, I don't even really get it. I think
you've got a certain. I'm not even going to. The fucking phrase.
I mean, I know an easier example that does kind of make sense, and you can say it in both languages. You can say sacre bleu, which means sacred blue sky. And of course, if an American said sacred blue sky, that's not cussing.
Yeah, exactly.
But when a Frenchman says it, that's cussing. I don't know why, but.
But I would take that we could say that word over here, and people would know it as a curse word without knowing what it means. But if you just said sacred blue sky, people wouldn't know what it means.
Right.
Right. Okay. Je ne sais quoi.
I feel you, even if I don't know the expression.
Right. Je ne sais quoi means I don't know what.
It means I don't know what.
Yeah. So
it means someone has some certain thing that you can't really identify, but it's there.
It's just, like, why does everybody like you? I don't know. You've got that I don't know what. You see what I mean?
She's hot. Well, what's hot about her? She's got the je ne sais quoi.
Oh, no,
she's got that thing about her. I can't really figure out what it is, but she's definitely got it.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, so we've agreed that could be yours, it could be whatever, but anyway, yeah. A quality that cannot be described or named easily. That's why we use it. That's how we use it, right? And to finish it off with verse 14, and the 4 beasts said, Amen. The 4 and the 20 elders fell down and worshipped him that liveth forever and ever.
Yep. Of course, I'm going to say that him that liveth forever and ever is... the idea set, God, not anything physical at all.
The 7 spirits of God.
That's what I'm going to say. And amen is just agreeing with. That's basically what amen is to say, yep, I totally agree. I got no arguments.
I'm just making a joke. Fucking stupid Simon Cowell. You're not allowed to say X Factor in my chat.
No, not the TV show.
I know. Hence there being a
We're
joke.
not talking about space aliens in that way.
Hence there being, that'd be funny, Krishna's here welcoming Kat, even though Kat's been here, I think, from before Krishna, just been lurking. It's been interesting.
It was nice of Krishna. Hold on.
I know. It's just
nice
funny.
gesture.
It's like, welcome. I've already been here, man. You've been sleeping. Where you been? Right. So we'll not start Revelation 6 because that's going to be another story, and we have been going for an hour.
Yeah.
So that's the hour done. Richard and me, we have found.
Actually, it's not a different story. It's a continuation of the same story.
Well, it's fucking the next chapter. It's easy to remember. Okay.
Okay, fair. 6.
You've ruined the trail of thought now.
I'm good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't they have skipped the number 6 throughout the Bible, being that it's an evil number?
I don't know. Do you run away from things that scare you?
No, but if we're going to be superstitious, let's stay with the superstition. And when they numbered the stuff, they should have left out the number 6. Except in the book of Ezekiel, which should have been nothing but chapter 6, verse 6. Chapter 6, verse 6 comes right after that.
Okay.
Should have opened with chapter 6, verse 6, and stayed with that through all of Ezekiel.
Right. Richard, What have you got coming up then? Tomorrow you have Mac. No, or is it?
Nada. We had to reschedule Mac for Sundays. So I got nothing to. I might have a hangout because I'm feeling kind of funky today. Like some not so great stuff happened today, and I could use to have just a hangout and talk to some people.
If you want, we can do a wee after party. If you feel like just chilling, if anyone wants to join in, we can.
After cigarettes, sure, that'd be great.
Yeah, we can. We'll do it over in your channel, man. We'll get some of your audience in as well. So that's what we'll do.
Okay.
And then you're in charge and can keep
All
it
right.
going all night. So if I feel tired, I can leave any time. That's the real reason,
No, that's fine. That's fine. Well,
Yeah.
hours and difference.
Check over in Richard's. If somebody could put Richard's link in the chat, we were rushing tonight because of my food coma, so I haven't his links in the description. So if any would be nice enough to put a link to Richard's channel in the chat, check over in Richard's channel. We'll go over there soon and we'll do a wee hangout over there and a bit of crack over there. So yeah, I've got nothing really scheduled at the minute. Richard will be back next Tuesday. We'll be doing that. I don't know, maybe do a hangout on Thursday or something as well or whatever. But yeah, life's been hard lately,
Sweet.
so fucking internet can go fuck at the minute. But I always enjoy doing this with Richard. It's always fun. This is as much for me and him as it is for the audience. It's good to hang out with friends. Definitely is. So
Good to hang out. Yeah.
check out Richard's channel. We'll be bouncing over there soon enough. We'll be going live over there soon enough. So yeah, we'll see you over there. And thanks everybody for coming back.
Let's say that's going to be on the hour. Okay.
Yeah, that works out good.
Okay.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for coming, really. Thanks everybody supporting the channel, members, Patreons. It's good to see you here, Doug. I know we haven't, maybe the timing hasn't worked out. I haven't seen you in a wee while, so it's been good to see you here.
I love Dog.
Definitely. Good people. Thanks everybody, as I say, for coming. So on that note, we will think for yourselves, people.